Give you some wheat. Give you some wheat. You make it a baby. And then we wait for baby to grow up. I'm so bored! Hello you beautiful people, Diorama here, and I want to start off with an apology. I didn't put out a video last week, and that is because real life got in the way. I did actually make some recordings, but I just wasn't happy with it, so I decided to wait and to bring you a video this week with much bigger updates on what I've been doing. And the reason we're starting in this room is the first update is right below my feet. I have changed up the floor of the throne room here. So what I've done is I've turned it into glass, and then underneath I've put a load of ice and snow so as to extend the frozen lake that we have out here. So if we head round this way and just break in through here. So as you can see, so the frozen lake originally stopped sort of this area around here, and then I decided I wanted to extend that, and so then you can see it through the floor of the throne, which I thought was a really nice touch. So the plan is it's going to extend not much further than this actually. It's probably going to extend just under this wall basically, and then we'll do something else with this area here as a kind of atrium, and that's going to be something for the next episode. So I just put in some little details, put in some stalagmites of ice down there, and then I decided that I needed to do something which has been on my list for a long time, which is to put some detail around the edges of the palace. So whereas we used to have just the plain white walls, I decided to put up some of this ice sort of scaffolding, and that kind of fits with the lore that was inside my head already, that this palace was built on a lake, and the powers that raised it and raised this snowflake have caused some of the water to rise and freeze up the side of the palace. I left this front bit clear so we can see the snowflake, but then round this side I've also got some of this same pattern, this same design going down to this area, and I think I'll stop there and I'll do something else with around that bit because that's where I want the snow to stop. And that's the other thing that I've done. So I extended this snow out all the way so it comes out much further and then starts to taper off as it goes down into the valley there where the village is. And basically that's the reason that I didn't put out a video last week, because me putting down a load of snow and building up that ice was thoroughly boring. And I didn't think anyone really wanted to watch that. It would be much better as an update. So yeah, that's the biggest update I've done cosmetically to the palace. But that wasn't all I did, because I also decided it was time for a map wall, and so I have mapped out, so this is 9x9 level 1 scaling maps, so this is the most zoomed in it can be, and I really like it. I think that's a great way to show what we've been up to. So what I'm going to do is just jump up a little bit, and then you can actually see I'm too close. That's better. Got one more. So we can actually okay, should we try and stand in one place? So now we can actually see what we've been up to. So you can see here we've got the village green. I also went around with banners to label everything. So this is the Mount Lupus village where we started. Over here we've got the docklands and the mighty ship. Over in the next landmass over this side we've got the arboreum, the tree farm. And then if we come up here to the ice palace, you can see this is the mountain peak, the frozen lake, the ice palace itself, and then the royal gardens around the back. And it looks really good on a map. It looks really good on a map, and you can see how it all sort of ties together. And then coming down here, we go into the desert area where we've got the industrial complex, so that's the mob grinder there. That is the enchanted book storage area, the villager trading hall, and the pumpkin melon and sugarcane farms. As you can see, this is the gold farm. Over here, this is the iron farm. This is Lego's holiday resort and the Lego statue. And all the way down here, we've got the villager baby maker, which is then feeding into the villager trading hall up here. So that's how it fits together. And in doing this, I realized I needed a lot of leather to make all the item frames. And so I spent a little bit of time at the Dark Oak Farm up here, and through the magic of video, that's where we're going to go right now. And here we are over at the Dark Oak Farm area. You can see I've gone for a very natural looking terrain. I wanted to get this kind of terraced farm design going up the side of a hill there. This, not so natural, but practical. And at the top up here is where we have our animals. I'm not sure I've ever shown this on camera, so it makes sense for me to come in and show you. So we've got sheep. We've got way too many sheep. Why do we have so many sheep? Okay, I'm going to have to come through and kill a few of those off, because that's too many. And over here we've got our cows, and this is obviously what I was breeding up, and that is really boring. I'm so bored! And so I thought I'd make a little bit of a build whilst I was doing that, which is there. This is the Dark Oak farmhouse building. Oops. Get out the way, cow! Thank you. This is the Dark Oak farmhouse building. Basically, I just wanted something to do whilst I was waiting for baby cows to grow up. And so I decided to build something that was kind of a modern twist on what we've got going on in the main Mount Lupus village. So using the wooden beams with a cobblestone trimmed roof and dark oak roof, and then with terracotta behind, coloured terracotta. That should be up. But rather than go for something more sort of oldie worldy, I went for something a little bit more modern using the jungle planks. I think that gives it a much more modern feel, and these open windows. If we go inside, you can see it's not really finished. I haven't done much inside. I want to put a balcony slash what's the word? Dockyard? No. Port? No. Don't know what it's called. A personal dock or something out the back here, going out into the lake, or like a fishing pier, something along those lines. And then if we head upstairs, obviously I needed somewhere to sleep, and I decided, as it's a more modern build, it would make sense to have a nice outdoor area looking out over this rather nice little dark oak forest lake out the back, and the farms out the front. And I'm quite pleased with it, actually, for something that was just something to fill time. Can I fly? Come on. Okay, for something that was just to fill a little bit of time whilst I waited for cows to grow up, I think it turned out as quite a nice build. I like this design, and it fits in with the village theme, so that makes sense to me. And I love the fact that it's looking out over this beautiful lake. I think that really makes sense. Okay, let's head back over to the Winter Palace, where there's a couple of other things that I got done. Right, so as well as the icing? That's not icing, is it? Well, I suppose it's kind of icing around there. I also decided that it was time to start joining up this area. So the Winter Palace already joins down to the village really nicely. So if we come around here, you remember we've got this rather nice, I have to say, path. And a couple of episodes ago, I also put in a path around the back from the gatehouse. But there's no path around the front here, or there wasn't, until I put one in. Well, it doesn't actually come all the way up yet, but I've put a path in here. So I've basically copied the design from the gatehouse around the back and just extended this down. So this path now comes down, and the wall we'll take a look at in a second. That now goes all the way around the palace gardens. So this now comes all the way down, and then we come to this sort of desert area entranceway, which is this shape because this path is 5 and this path is 4, and I wanted some way to join them. And yeah, so I've built the path and it comes all the way down here. I had a look at the path over the other side, and I think Benji had been working on this rather nice pattern with cut sandstone, chiseled sandstone and stairs that makes nice little detailing along the road edge. He originally had slabs all the way down, but I decided I actually wanted to have red streaks running through because that's what we have down in the industrial complex down there. Also, the stairs look really cool like this as well. So yeah, this path now comes all the way down here, and you can go off this way to the enchanted book and the atrium. You can come this way, go up to the mob farm, or you can come all the way to the villager trader. I don't think on the outside I want to do this lighting. I want to do lighting built into the side of the walkways. I think that's going to look better. In the buildings we can have this, but outside I think this is going to look a little bit better. So yeah, that's looking really great, and I'm really pleased with the amount of progress I've managed to make this week. There is, however, one thing that I would like to do, and that is to update the maps now that I've finished off this path. So I'm going to go and grab that. We can update the map together and see how it looks when it's all completed. Right, so with maps in hand, here we go. The first map that needs updating is this one. It's going to take the path down here. And I'm just going to wander around. I think normally I would fly when I'm doing something like this, but I just fancy taking a walk around the new path. So you can see the walls up there now, and this path going down, looking great. And whilst I'm walking down here, I wanted just to say about the recordings. I'm going to probably cut it down to one every 2 weeks, starting from now. I've got a lot of stuff on in real life that just means realistically trying to get an episode out every week means that I'm not actually enjoying playing Minecraft as much. So I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna just cut it down to once every 2 weeks or so. It could be that I want to do more than that, but I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself to get it finished. And I have to say, looking at this path running through this, I'm really glad that I went with the red, because that was the main reason I put red down the middle, was for the maps, because that means that you can really see it clearly. Yes. By the way, as we walk through, you can see I haven't finished the design. I couldn't quite decide what I want to do along all of the edges. So what I did is just do as much edges as I could with what sandstone I had just in my inventory at the time. And I've played around with a couple of different designs. So as we go, we'll just run up here quickly first. So the basic thing that I liked was this idea of having the stairs, the chiseled sandstone every so often. And what I also wanted to make sure that we had was some light along here. So for now I've just plonked torches on the top. But I also tried down here doing something maybe with redstone lamps, and then might put like a slab on top. I don't think I have any slabs, no. That might look quite cool. And then as we do the last map, which is going up here, you'll see I played around with some different designs over here. So one was just to put a sea lantern on top. That just looks like I've plonked a sea lantern on top, so I definitely have to do something. Over here I built it up a little bit more, which I like. I really like this design. I think it's a nice shape, and round the back I also put in this, and I think that looks really good from the side as well. So I think that's a good option. The problem is, in order to have enough light to keep this path unspawnable, you have to put them like every 6 or 8 blocks, which starts to look really, what's the word, imposing, because they're quite tall. They're taller than you can see over. And yes, you can see through, so you can see the Lego statue over there in the gaps. So it's not too bad. And obviously, we've got a lot of tall buildings in this area, so it's not too bad. But I just felt like it was a little bit too much. So I'm going to work on that and talk to the rest of the community as well about what they think is the best option. So there we have it. This is the new red road running through the industrial desert district. I hope you enjoyed the updates in this video, and I hope that you're looking forward to more. I think next time we're going to work on the atrium outside of the palace, looking over the back of the gardens. That's my plan at the moment. But something always throws itself up, so we'll have to see. So with that, I will say goodbye, and I will see you in the next episode. Take it easy.